Now know more about a murder investigation in Howard, South Dakota.
46-year-old Elias Stubbe is charged with first and second-degree murder in the death of 56-year-old Nicole Malfero. According to court documents, when investigators found Malfero's body, she had a large wound to her head, as well as stab wounds to her head, neck, and back.
Court documents say a knife, crowbar, and handsaw covered in what appeared to be blood were located nearby her body. They also found a partially broken hammer in a nearby trash can that also had a reddish-brown substance and hair on it.
Stubbe is being held in the Davison County Jail on a $1 million cash bond.
On Wednesday, a judge sentenced 24-year-old Ezekiel Mayweather to life in prison, with the Pennington County State's attorney saying he was, quote, the planner and driving force of a 2024 murder.
In February of last year, Esther Wolf died after being shot in the head. 22-year-old Arcadius Wright was the one who pulled the trigger. However, authorities say the crime was planned and motivated by Mayweather's false belief that Wolf was involved in killing his brother back in 2019.
Wright was also in court on Wednesday. He was initially charged with first-degree murder, but his sentence has been reduced to 35 years with 10 years suspended for first-degree manslaughter.
The state's attorney's office says the state agreed to reduce the charge due to his cooperation with law enforcement and the state.
Opening statements were made Wednesday in a Sioux Falls murder trial.
Edward Brinkley is accused of killing Richard Sowers. The 28-year-old Sioux Falls man was discovered in a hallway outside his downtown apartment in March of 2024.
Sowers died from gunshot wounds. In opening statements, the prosecution said Brinkley killed Sowers after both were spotted at the same bar.
The defense began their opening statement with 6 words: wrong place, wrong time, wrong person. If found guilty of second-degree murder, Brinkley could face life in prison.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Mudd. Good morning, Scott.
All right. Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. We are watching for freezing rain as we go through the morning hours, and some of this may extend into the afternoon as everything slowly moves to the east and southeast. Here's a quick look at some of the ice accumulation that may occur. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, we're looking at some of the ice accumulation around the 1/10 of an inch or more, and a lot of that trying to show up in the central South Dakota to the north and to the northwest. We'll follow our snow chances in eastern and southeastern Kettleland as we do go through the day today, with on average 1 to 3 inches looking likely for parts of eastern and southeastern Kettleland, as temperatures will range anywhere from near 60 degrees in western South Dakota to the teens and 20s in the east. And Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. This is the third straight year USD has advanced to the FCS quarterfinals.
The Oats are on a 5-game win streak and are 10-4 overall. Fans are hopeful for a win when they face the number 3 seed Montana on Saturday.
I think we've had a lot of momentum, coming into it. We haven't lost a game in 5 games, I think. So it'll be cool to see also beating a team that beat SDSU. Going to be kind of cool too, just because it's the big rivalry.
Kickoff is set for 2:30 Central Time Saturday in Missoula. It's being broadcast on ABC.
The Sanford Pentagon is set to host the Division II Women's Volleyball Championship for the 3rd time since 2016.
The 3-day tournament starts today, featuring 8 teams from across the country, including California, Florida, and Massachusetts.
The vice president of Sanford Sports expects good crowds, but plans to add some local flair.
We'll try to supplement that with whether it be our volleyball academy, local elementary schools, and things like that. We'll get the teams out and do some community outreach to help bring fans and engage the fans and engage the community, so that, 1, they know the event's taking place, but 2, they've got somebody to cheer for, because there's a lot of these teams, like you said, coming from outside of the area, outside of the region, that may not have a fan base here.
The quarterfinals begin this morning at 11 o'clock. NSIC powerhouse Concordia St. Paul will play in the second match of the day at 1:30.
The championship match is set for 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Over the past week, Canton residents may have spotted someone dressed as Santa Claus causing Christmas chaos around town.
And during a recent incident at last weekend's parade, local police were forced to get involved. As you can see in the body cam footage, when police approached the green troublemaker, you can see him make a run for it, leading officers on a wild Grinch chase.
And after a short foot pursuit, the suspect was nabbed.
Police want to thank the Canton community for working together to keep Christmas safe.
Well, that is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, as we look at the weather today, well, it looks a little messy, doesn't it, with this winter weather advisory in effect for a large part of Kettleland. Not everybody. The southwest is going to be warm, very mild today from Winter to Rapid City. But even Winter, it's a little tricky because we've had some freezing rain this morning in parts of Tripp County. But this section will warm up quickly. It's farther east where the troubles are. And then, of course, snow is also a part of this. So here's kind of the layout, the breakdown of all of these snow versus freezing rain lines. Blue is snow, pink is the icing occurring here through 9 o'clock this morning, and it's already been quite treacherous on some of our roads here in central South Dakota. I do think Sioux Falls will get into just plain snow. Then we'll see if there is enough push here of that warmer air aloft to switch that over to a little sleet or a little freezing rain. If you're Mitchell, it's more likely to happen. Obviously, we already have icing going on in these areas west of Mitchell, so that's kind of the breakdown. And you can see how the early morning radar has certainly trended there, right in line with Futurecast. So to kind of recap the whole story here today, here's the freezing rain map. This is where we're highlighting the worst of the accumulations of icing today, running from near Mobridge to Huron to just a little west of Sioux Falls. East of that line is where the snowfall accumulation will be a little heavier, and it's a general 1 to 3, but there are parts of southwest Minnesota could end up with a little more than 3 inches of snow today, and I think it'll be snowing at a pretty good clip in Sioux Falls through midday, early afternoon, so don't discount that. It can get a little trouble, some on the roads, and you got to just use your winter driving skills as a result of that. Meanwhile, on the flip side of the token, look how warm it is and windy today. Rapid City into the upper 50s to near 60. The winds could hit 60 miles per hour today in Rapid City. So it's a big, big difference in weather from one end of Kettleland to the other. Now, the snow for tomorrow, look at this. We're going to see a cold front tonight, and that's going to lead to falling temperatures pretty much all day tomorrow. Sioux Falls will technically hit our high probably at midnight tonight. And then the snow is going to regroup in western South Dakota on Friday as the temperature is falling. And the coldest air of the winter is coming this weekend. No question about that. There's even another band of light snow moving into the forecast for Saturday morning, and that'll probably just bisect the state here again from northwest to southeast. Thinking right now the heaviest of the band of snow would go a little south of Sioux Falls, but at any rate, it's another thing to think about as we get into the weekend. And then wind chills by Sunday morning could be approaching minus 30. Or even a little bit lower than that. There's that wind forecast today. There's Rapid City highlighted at 1 o'clock at 55 miles an hour. Sioux Falls has a wind at only 5 to 10 at that point. So it's a big difference there, too, on the wind speeds. I do think Sioux Falls and some of our eastern counties could get some blowing snow tomorrow morning. Not a huge amount, but it's enough where if your winds are gusting 30 to 35, it's going to start to move some of that snow across the road. So be careful. That's also another factor that will lead to some slick spots. In addition to everything else I talked about. We've got a good chance of snow, light snow Saturday, high near 4. Then we warm up next week, and that's a big story, too. It's going to be a lot quieter in the weather. Temperatures are rebounding in Aberdeen, too, but look at Sunday morning, 21 below zero. So we got to get through that first, and then we'll turn the page to some better weather, quieter weather for next week. And that includes Rapid City. My goodness, look how that comes back to life. 60 degrees possible by Monday and Tuesday. Check out more details online at kettleland.com.